presentation I did December of last year, December 2016. Ancient Kemet, the Winter Solstice, and the History of Christmas. This is a fantastic presentation. It's 3 hours. Ancient Kemet, the Winter Solstice, and the History of Christmas. We know Kemet's one of the original names for Egypt. Kemet meaning the land of the blacks. And this deals with the history of the origins of Kwanzaa. The origins of Christmas. Okay. I deal with the pre-Christian era and looking at the ancient winter festivals celebrated among Europeans, like the Festival of Saturnalia amongst the Romans, the Festival of Mithra amongst the Persians, the Festival of Yule. Okay, this is where Yule tide comes from. And most of these festivals took place around the winter solstice, around December 21st. I also deal with the influence from various cultures, mythology, religion, literature, and astronomy. Okay, do you really know what you're celebrating? And Dr. Shaka Musa Barashango told us about these holidays in his books, African People and European Holidays, a Mental Genocide. African People and European Holidays, a Mental Genocide, Book 1 and Book 2. Some of the things I deal with is why is Christmas celebrated on December 25th? Because nowhere in the biblical text. Now, this may go outside the circumference of some people's awareness. Just because you never heard it before, don't like it, or disagree with it, does not mean it's not true. Just means you have to do some research to understand what I'm talking about. Why is Christmas celebrated on December 25th? Because nowhere in the biblical text does it state that Jesus the Christ was born on December 25th, or Yeshua, because the letter J wasn't invented till 1630 AD. Read chapter 9 of The Historical Origin of Christianity by Dr. Walter Williams. Chapter 9 deals with the whole history of the letter J. Chapter 9 of The Historical Origin of Christianity by Dr. Walter Williams. You've heard me interview Dr. Walter Williams before. And you can go to our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Listen to podcasts of the African History Network show and the Michael Imhotep Show. What determines when Easter is celebrated? Because Easter is a movable feast. It's based upon astronomy. Easter is celebrated on the first Sunday following the first full moon following the vernal equinox. Easter is celebrated on the first Sunday following the first full moon following the vernal equinox. How does astronomy play a role in the celebration of Christmas? Where do the symbols of Christmas come from? Okay, Christmas sheet trees, the wreath, all these things, poinsettias. Where do the symbols of Christmas come from? The origins of Joie de Piet, Black Pete, Joie de Piet, where you have Sinterklaas, okay, who we call Santa Claus. Sinterklaas, Sinterklaas was Saint Nicholas, okay, and Santa Claus is going to come from Saint Nicholas. And he had a character who was his sidekick named Joie de Piet, or Black Pete, who was a Moor. He's depicted in blackface with an afro wig, gold hoop earrings. So you have to understand the history of the Moors and being conquered in Europe, and the mythology surrounding Sinterklaas that comes from Holland, comes from the Dutch. And it was the Dutch in the 18th century who introduced the character known as Sinterklaas into America, into the colonies, to America. And then Sinterklaas becomes transformed into Santa Claus. What caused the popularity of gift giving? Okay, because traditionally gifts weren't exchanged between family members when they celebrated Christus Mass or Christmas. Christmas comes from Christus Mass, which goes back to 11th century AD, about 1050 AD. The origins of the 7 days of the week and more. These are some of the things I deal with in this presentation. That's why it's 3 hours. So it's a lot of history. Okay, so we have it available on DVD and also digital download. It's available on DVD and digital download at AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. That's Ancient Kemet, the Winter Solstice, and the History of Christmas. Ancient Kemet, the Winter Solstice, and the History of Christmas. Okay, available on DVD and digital download. All right, and we'll post the link here also for 1804, The Hidden History of Haiti. New documentary from director Tariq Nasheed, deals with the history of the Haitian Revolution. Post that there. How's everybody doing on Facebook? And let me see here. I will post this link here in just a minute. But yeah, this is available on digital download. It's $10 on digital download, so you can download and start watching right away. Ancient Kemet, the Winter Solstice, and the History of Christmas. And we'll post a link here on the thread also of the broadcast. So yeah, I studied the history of all the holidays, the origins of all the holidays, and the history of Christmas is the most fascinating. It's the most complex. It's the longest, and it's the most fascinating. Okay, so let's see here. Let's post this link here. All right, so we just posted that link. Yeah, let's try this again. Let's do it like this here. All right, so how's everybody doing on Christmas Eve? And we know Kwanzaa is coming up, so some people celebrate Christmas, some people celebrate Kwanzaa, some people celebrate both of them. So happy holidays to everybody. All of our fans on the African History Network, regardless of what you celebrate. All right, so we just posted it there. Ancient Kemet, the Winter Solstice, and the History of Christmas. That's the digital download. We also have it available on DVD at AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. All right. Okay, so look, we're going to get out of here. Remember, at the African History Network, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world, because right now is correct wrong behavior. What you do for yourself, what you do to yourself, and what you allow other people to do to you is based upon what you think about yourself. What you think about yourself is based upon what you have been taught about yourself. What you've been taught about yourself is based upon everything you've read, heard, and seen about yourself. So we control the radius of a man's thoughts, you can control the compass of his actions, because the mind can't do or teach what it doesn't know. Remember, right now is correct wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Talk to you next time. Peace.